Lots of people are going to go to prison on the grounds that they are somehow allied with foreign countries. Do you see this happening?
It's all, as you said, it's already happening. And we've seen how both Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have no hesitation whatsoever to weaponize our Department of Justice and law enforcement in order to put their political, to punish their political opponents. You know, that press conference that Merrick Garland did announcing those indictments, I wasn't surprised, frankly, to see them waving the Russia, Russia, Russia flag as they are revealing their concern that Kamala Harris might not win this election. But what I thought about was, gosh, this is what the Attorney General and the FBI Director was sitting right next to him. This is what they're focused on. Why aren't they focused on innocent, everyday, law-abiding Americans being put on secret domestic terror watch lists?
Oh, this is just outrageous. I don't know what you guys think, but clearly the FBI and the Justice Department are definitely being weaponized against political enemies. So here we have Tulsi Gabbard. She's a guest on Tucker Carlson's Roadshow, it looks like. And yeah, she's talking about what you just heard. And I think she's going to talk about her experience with being on a terrorist watch list. Let's listen.
Do you know anybody who's wound up on one of those lists?
I have a little experience with this.
Will you tell us?
So I travel a lot. I'm on planes more days of the week than I'm probably not on planes. And one day my husband and I were traveling together and we got this SSSS on our boarding pass. You know, we have pre-check. Pre-check didn't work and went through all of this additional screening with pre-check and thought, okay, the TSA guy said, this is random. Just be patient. It's like, okay, got it. You know, you got to do the thing. And then the next day and the next flight happened again. The next day and the next flight, it happened again. My husband and I split off. He was going one direction. I was going another direction. We both went through it. We were both getting this treatment, and I was honestly getting kind of pissed. There was a whole lot that went into it, but it wasn't until about a week later. I knew there was something going on because once or twice, yeah, okay, maybe, but 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a row, clearly something was happening. And I talked to a TSA supervisor in one of these airports, and he's looking at my military ID card. He's like, why is this happening to you? You're in the military. I was like, you're telling me, buddy. And he's like, first of all, this is way above my pay grade. But what he shared with me was very revealing, and he said that he had a lot of friends who were Trump supporters, who had no problems traveling, and then all of a sudden, all of them started getting this Quad S on their boarding pass. You gotta go 45 minutes through TSA and all this other stuff. And he looked at me and he's like, there's something fishy going on here. And I was like, yeah, I think I should make some calls. And he said, you should make some calls. And he had no idea that I had anything to do with politics at all. As far as he knew, he had never heard Tulsi Gabbard before. He was just like, military, what's going on here? Air Marshal whistleblowers came forward about a week and a half later and provided evidence. They took pictures of the targeting package. For those of you in the military, you know what that means. They took pictures of the targeting package that the TSA made for me that showed I had been added to the secret domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies, and the words operational was on that targeting package.
This is just outrageous, you know, to target a sitting member of Congress, if I'm not mistaken, Tulsi Gabbard. Obviously you can target members of Congress if they're doing something fishy, if you think they're a spy for, you know, another country or something like that. But clearly, the apparatus of the state is being weaponized against law-abiding citizens. And as she mentioned earlier, just ordinary people are being put on these lists, not just high-profile people like Tulsi Gabbard. And this whole thing, it goes back basically to the creation of the Department of Homeland Security and TSA in the wake of 9/11 all those years ago. And it was obvious at the time, the Patriot Act and all that, it was obvious at the time that all that was being implemented and rushed through in the wake of 9/11, and it was obvious to anyone with eyes to see and ears to hear that it would eventually become weaponized against ordinary people. And here we are.
And unbeknownst to me, had a little bit of an idea, but unbeknownst to me, for those last week and a half or 2 weeks, I had at least 3 federal air marshals following me and traveling with me everywhere I went. And there were K-9 teams, there were EOD teams. I was getting swabbed for traces of explosives, not only in the initial going through TSA, but again before even boarding the plane at the gate. I told the guys at the gate, I was like, they just checked me like 10 minutes ago. We got to do it again. It's not them. Clearly, this was an act of political retaliation for my criticisms and warning the country about what kind of dangerous President Commander-in-Chief Kamala Harris would be. And so this is still going on today. Sometimes I get the Quad S, sometimes I don't, but I've heard from people who have confirmed that my targeting package is still operational.
So, I mean, you're an Army officer, we're a sitting member of the United States Congress, you're a presidential candidate, and you're on the terror watch list. So, and there's nothing you can do about it. So how is that different from any other secret police force in any other country?
This is the thing, it's not. It's not. And if we had an attorney general who cared about our freedom, our civil liberties, about the integrity of a democratic republic where we can speak our mind and express ourselves and criticize our own government, guaranteed by our First Amendment right, perhaps our attorney general and the FBI would be investigating these acts of abuse of power and political retaliation.
Absolutely disgusting. It is, yeah, I think, I don't live in the States anymore. I haven't lived there for many years. If I were living there, and if you're living there, I suggest you immediately contact your member of Congress, your senator, anybody you can, and say that this is absolutely outrageous. Tulsi Gabbard is exactly right what she's saying to Tucker Carlson here. This cannot be allowed to go on. It is a secret police force which is being used politically to target political enemies. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe you think there's a good idea for this, or maybe you agree. Let me know, because I'm not very happy about this at all. It's outrageous. It's the sign of a dying empire. Anyway, I hope you like this content. Like and subscribe if you do. It really helps me grow the channel and helps me keep making videos for you.